Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Dimir Spirits. It's been a little while since I played this deck, but it is one that I really enjoy. And this list specifically is by Zamakura, who's currently in the chat, and has a couple cards that I've been wanting to try out in this deck, namely Mistvine Border Post, which can basically take the place of a land. You can pay 1 mana and return a basic land you control to its owner's hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost, so it basically takes your land drop and enters tapped. But notably, it's also a multicolored spell to bring back your Eidolons in the late game, so that your lands turn into a way to bring these back, which can be really good. We're also trying a one of Tordex. This is a very slow, grindy card that's generally lost a lot of favor, especially when decks are built around it, because the decks are just so slow. But we can use this to just swap out one of our Eidolons for any of our other creatures, Vampire Hounds, Shipwreck Sifters, even a Sneaky Snacker if we really want. And then, of course, they come back when we cast a multicolored spell. And so we can get a lot of value out of that if we go really late. We're also playing a One of Last Rites. This is a very powerful card, and when we have so many cards we're happy to discard, can just get us tons and tons of value. We're a blue-black mid-range kind of deck, so of course we're playing counter spells. Only a couple cast downs because we're also favoring more multicolored spells in Agony Warps. And then for our card draw, of course, we're playing Abandoned Attachments, which is a multicolored card, going to bring back our Eidolons, but also allows us to discard a card to draw 2. Shipwreck Sifters is our main payoff for discarding spirits, although Vampire Hounds also allows us to discard the spirits, get a bunch of value. We have a couple Modern Ages in here as well. And that looks to be it for the main deck. We do have a couple Escape Tunnels to make our Vampire Hounds unblockable, Contaminated Aquifers, as well as Island Swamps, and then Lorians to grab our mana, and of course those Border Posts. For our sideboard, we are playing Cram Session, which can gain us some life against any sort of burn deck. This can be good, and it allows us to learn, so we can swap one of our Abandoned Attachments into the sideboard for that, I'm assuming is the idea there. We have another Last Rites for control matchups, Blue Blasts, Nulls, Snuff Outs, Drown in Sorrow, and some Nile Spellbombs. Tordex is very good in grindy matchups, but bad against aggressive ones. Yep, and One of Last Rites amazing in control matchups. Yeah, we will see how it is. So yeah, let's just take it for League and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron. Alright, on the play here, and we have just a 1-lander, so I'm going to mulligan that. 2 lands here, we have Tordex, Eidolon, Dahadas Ploy, Lorien. Probably just getting rid of the Tortured Existence, I think. Not a lot of life gain. What's the Red Madness matchup? Yeah, definitely a good question. Bottom Tordex here, yeah, definitely. Dahadas Ploy can gain a lot of life. That is very true. Yeah, I was trying Tolarian Winds in the deck, which is 2 mana, you discard your entire hand and draw that many cards, which could be a nice way to bin a whole bunch of snackers all at once, get them back, and things like that. But also combos very nicely with the Dahadas Ploy, because you could discard like 7 cards, and the Dahadas Ploy gain 9 life. I still think there's a little potential, but it, of course, having to discard your entire hand every time you cast it is not always great, and it is card disadvantage because it doesn't draw you an additional card. So just waiting for our opponent to keep something here. All right, start with our Aquifer and pass. Tried it too, but it felt too negative in too many situations. Yeah, I think that's fair. Like I said, I only tried it in like a league or two, so I still think there might be some potential, but probably as like a 2 of or something. And yeah, maybe it's just not good enough in general. I could see that as well. All right, we are against Tron of some description. Get a swamp. We'll just pass the turn here. So we can discard the Eidolon to the attachments, and then get it back later with Dahadas Ploy and such. They're gonna just crack the map right now. If only we had Shadow of Doubt. Go for Abandon. Discard, draw 2. We do get a Mistvine Border Post. And so I could cast this for 1, tapped. We get our island back, which brings back our Eidolon, and then we get to discard it to the Modern Age. Seems alright. We're not holding up Agony Warp or Dahadas Ploy for anything anyway, so we will do this. Bring this back to hand, play an island, Modern Age, discard it again. That's pretty cool. Basically a tap land that just brings back all of our Eidolons from our graveyard. It is susceptible to artifact removal, but since we play no other artifacts, probably not going to be that much of a problem. Unless we're against like a main deck masked Vandal opponent. But card negative for opponent if they remove it then. No, I mean it's still just one card. Like it bounces our own land, but it would just be a 1-for-1 if they like smash to smithereens or cast it into the fire. I've seen a lot of people bring artifact removal against it and then just not getting any. Yeah, because if we only have 3 of them, so if they bring in artifact removal and we just don't see them, then they're kind of a waste. Definitely not something I would be bringing in artifact removal against, but if they also see Modern Age and they have like naturalizes, maybe they can get some value out of them. Candy Trail. Scry 1 to the top. We get a Vampire Hounds. Draw another card. We'll discard a Swamp here. So I can just play a Hounds. I mean, they're a Tron. We probably want to be aggressive. We don't have much else going on, so yeah, I think we will. With Candy Trail, I assume they're probably Altertron or Eggstron. One of those two. Probably not Flicker. Pinnacle Killship. Well, I guess it's Monstertron, and that's a bit unfortunate. Lose our Hounds. Theoretically, I could see having enough Eidolons to discard 5 of them just to keep it alive, but obviously we don't have that option here. Tordex will be good in this matchup. Yeah, I can see that. Need to cycle Lorien. I feel like I might want to play Lorien at some point. I have a land drop for now, so if I need to cycle it later, I certainly can do that. This flips. Ban attachments. I could do that or Dahada's Ploy now. Oh, I bought him Tordex. Yeah, but I mean, it's a one-of. I'm not necessarily going to cycle a card that could draw me 3 cards just to potentially draw a card that could be decent. So we could abandon attachments to draw 3. Then if I get like another Vampire Hounds, I could play it. Shipwreck Sifters. Or to draw 2. Or yes, I could just cast a Lorien. Yeah, I think we probably will. Just use our mana. Snacker Sifters. Decent draws. They got a Maelstrom Colossus, I assume. To a Prism. It's going to be ugly real soon with just 2 cast downs. Yeah, definitely not the matchup where Agony Warp is going to shine. Ancient Stirrings, nice. Ooh, Relic's pretty brutal too. And just a Bajuka Bog. Okay, already feels like a tough one. I kind of feel like I just need to survive. Like 7's so much damage. Whereas next turn I can play like a Snacker, which can block as well. And then I can do that. I guess if I play Snacker next turn, I could like Agony Warp this and trade all of that for that. This is a 7/7 as well. Yeah, we'll take it for now. So I can Sifters. I could discard Snacker and then get it back. I kind of think I just want to play it. And then, yeah, like trade off for this kill ship. So play that. Agony Warp and I guess Sifters. Discard an island. Play this and pass. And then, I mean, Relic could potentially pop and kill the Snacker. Can't do much about that. They have another Prism, and there's the Relic. Hit our island. They have a Bramble Worm. No counterspell for that. So I'll block the kill ship. Agony Warp -3. We'll take 3 less damage. Trade with the kill ship. Another attachments. So probably just start with that. Discard an island. Do get a cast down for the worm. We didn't play a land this turn, so I can do this for 1 to bring back the island if I want. If I replay it, then I would be discarding this. I'll probably just discard this border post, actually. It's not really what we need right now. Cast down can be decent. Not can be decent, obviously, is what we want. Yeah, then I need to have jump blockers for the Colossus. Escape Tunnel. Can use a lot of mana in this deck. Guess we'll just pass. I could attack for 1. I'm hoping not to have to block with the Colossus, so I probably should, but theoretically if they have haste or something, I don't know. I think this Monstertron deck is really good. It's definitely been getting better every couple of sets. Killship was a nice addition. Brambleworm, Boulder Branch a little while ago. I guess that was a couple years, but Candy Trail. But yeah, like against the right opponent, I feel like it has some solid game. It doesn't have a lot of interaction, but it just gains a lot of life, so it survives the burn decks and just has enormous creatures really quick. So yeah, I don't think it's a terrible deck. Definitely moving up. They have a Candy Trail. Exile all graveyards. I'm going to kill the Brambleworm anyway, so I might as well do it now, because they'll lose the ability to gain 5 life. We're also not losing anything relevant in our graveyard, which is nice. Yeah, I think we're just taking 7. We're going down to 2. And I think we can use the mana, potentially. So we'll see what we get here. We have 1 cast down left, which is unfortunate, but if they really run out of gas, although it's tough with all these Candy Trails, then it's possible a timely cast down and maybe an Agony Warp can get there. Lorien revealed. I could just cast that, and then I could Shipwreck Sifters. I mean, Dahada's Ploy lets us have more mana to do stuff with, but only draws us 2, plus we have to discard 1. I think we do. Go for the Lorien. Another Agony Warp. Currently not doing too much. Play a Sifters. Discard an Eidolon. These grow. We are going to unfortunately have to chump with 1 and with the Snacker, but we can maybe get well, another Relic's going to make things tough. I was going to say with Hounds and a bunch of ways to get back the Eidolon, we can maybe eat these guys. Yeah, I agree, just as long as we can do it around a Relic, which seems tough. They have another Colossus into a Prism. They're just going to crack the Relic right now. I mean, that's crazy, because I'm literally going to chump with a Snacker on board, but whatever. If we can find another Eidolon, we can maybe have a shot. Pretty tough, though, seeing as we're going to have to block 3 of these guys next turn. We do get another one, but I have to play this. We only have 7 mana, so play this. I can maybe gain enough life. No, there's no way. For Dahada's Ploy to like keep us alive. Yeah, I can't even Agony Warp as well here. Discard this. Dahada's Ploy. This comes back. Discard it again. Gain 3. I would need to also Agony Warp in the same turn, which means I might need to do this now to hit the land drop. That's not going to work. Yeah, I don't think that's enough life, unfortunately, though. So I kind of think I need to ploy now, and if I get like a land plus a cast down, maybe I can get there. So if I just wait till their turn, is there anything I could draw? Dolan for 1 mana? No. Alright. Discard this. Dahada's Ploy. Bring this back. Discard it again. Draw 2. Counterspell. We have a Snacker. It's coming tapped. Discard this. We go up to 5. Block. We'll die. Alright. Cannot survive. Alright, we get a null. We get Snuff Out. I'd have done that during their turn so the dog stays big. No, I mean, I wanted to do it during their turn, but we already did the math. There was nothing we could draw on their turn. Like, there was literally 0 outs if we did it on their turn, whereas if we did it on our turn, theoretically, if I drew a land and a cast down, I could survive, right? So it would have been ideal to do it on their turn, but it wasn't going to work. Last Right's good. Yeah, I guess if I get that on turn 3 and just take their entire hand, that's not bad. Nothing else feels very good. I mean, Agony Warp is, like, okay. Not as good as everything else, or like our other removal. I kind of think this and Modern Age we can cut. These are more guys, but they're also not guys that, like, if we're giving the Torch of Existence and trying to do that, cut a Hound, they have low removal. Yeah, but I really want to see a Hound, right? Isn't it one of our best ways to kill their guys other than direct removal spells? We could try cutting 1, but it feels like that might be something we want to draw to. Sure, we'll try that. We have counter spells. We have 3 counter spells. Unfortunately, we don't have them until turn 3, but then we have counters for stuff. I mean, it's not great. We don't have any of our engine. Their stuff all has Cascade is the problem, so, like, countering 1 thing is not really that great. I kind of think this is a mulligan. Maybe that's crazy. We do have a Last Rites, so maybe that could be something here. Big Sifters. Yeah, but the way to make Big Sifters is the Hounds, right? Alright, we'll keep this one. I guess just go for an early Last Rites. Early-ish. Obviously worse by having to mulligan. Yeah, not my favorite for sure. Would definitely love... I mean, Last Rites can be good. Obviously, I'd love to get some Eidolons and things like that I'd want to throw in the yard. Candy Trail. I mean, Last Rites is funny. It's not really that bad because it's just a blank card to discard to the other one. I can Border Post back an island. I'm trying to figure out if there's any downside or upside to that. I mean, it taps for black is the upside. I think we might as well. Obviously not wanting to cast Snacker because I want it to be discarded. Whereas the Mist Vein Border Post keeps us equal in our hand. They have an Expedition map, another Mist Vein. Alright, so probably just take 4 cards from their hand. At least we're both ideally top decking. None of the cards we've drawn have been ones we want to keep. So, I mean, obviously I wouldn't mind a land drop or 2, but I don't really want to leave them with anything relevant here. So I'm just going to do everything. Unfortunate. Their hand was Kill Ships and Whisper Silk Cloak. Unfortunate that they only had 3 spells, but that's okay. You're going to sack the map, get a power plant. That's a decent draw. This is why I really would have liked to have an Eidolon have been discarded, because then I could just cast this right now, bring back our Snacker, we get so much value out of it. As is, we gotta wait a turn. And if they just top deck a guy, we might lose pretty quick to them. And a Relic. You know, I gotta be honest, these are 2 cards that I would have loved to take with the Last Rites. I mean, that's a good draw. Okay, Sifters, we got a Lorien. Ancient Stirrings, finds a Colossus. Cast that into a map. Swing for 6. Another Lorien revealed. I'll play as Sifters. Yeah, no, we definitely just had some unlucky draws and stuff. I guess we're getting rid of this. Pass the turn. They've just drawn a big creature every single turn. That's crazy. And I guess Ancient Stirring's found one of them, but crack a map. Tangled Islet. We will shoot the big one and just take 6. Another Snacker. I mean, I guess I can double chump, and if I get, like, I don't know, something that draws 3 into something else, maybe we can get there. And then they have the Relic instantly. Okay, well, again, they're not using the Relic the most effectively. They could force the chumps first. These are 6/5s, so I could trade if I throw everything at 1. Unfortunately, that leaves us dead, so I guess I won't do that. Don't think Island is going to cut it. Well, I don't know how this matchup would be. It seems a little bit rough. Certainly if we had a couple more cast downs, it could be better, but like they obviously also just drew very well, and we drew pretty poorly, so that's a tough one. All right, a few days later, but here we are in round 2. Hand looks decent with a counterspell. We have abandoned attachments with a Snacker on turn 2. Since it's a different day, our overlay is going to be a little bit wrong with our record. Doesn't have our loss from round 1, which I guess we'll take. Play on Island here and just pass. They're on White Heroic. Gonna cycle the Lorien for an island. And I probably just Agony Warp this right now. Or I wait for them to play something. I could go for abandoned attachments. Obviously, this also lets us, it lets them play like a Benevolent Blessing on it or something. But they'd have to get in for nothing and then just pass with this mana up, which is what they're gonna do. That's fine. If they're only attacking us for 1, I'm not too worried about that. They have a Trailblazer, so if I go to counter this, then they'll Benevolent Blessing to protect the Elite, which means we won't be able to kill it or block it. So I guess we're hoping to draw a land here, because if we don't, they're just going to keep holding this up and we won't be able to do much. We do kind of get a land. So I get to cast this for 1, return this island, enters tapped. We'll play our island and pass. Homestead Courage on the Trailblazer. We'll just take 3 here. They're going to pass the turn. Counterspell. So now we get to go for the attachments. Discarding a Snacker. No land. Again, unfortunately. Sentinel's Eyes on the Trailblazer. So the moment that I tap out for a counterspell here, they're going to be able to protect one of these from black, probably indefinitely, which is why we can't really afford to do that. Another Snacker. Let's just play a Sifters here, discarding an Eidolon. And they're probably worried about a cast down, but I don't even have that, so if they do eventually ever actually tap out, I'm not even going to be able to kill the Trailblazer, just the Elite here. They do go for it now with an Aerialist, which tells me they could just have a mana. So if I counter this, they could have a land and then the Blessing, or they could have Emerge Unscathed. We probably do need to counter something here. I mean, we're running low on life. If they do just play the land and then Benevolent Blessing, we're going to be in a tough spot. Ethereal Armor makes it a 3/3, but they are tapped out now, so I can Agony Warp this. They are going to be able to get the Sifters here, because I have to block. I'll block here. So I would love to draw a cast down. Perfect. So now we can just cast down this and Agony Warp this, because they did end up tapping out. Kill both their creatures. And hopefully they don't have another one. They do have a Trailblazer, and there's the Blessing. Well, that could be problematic. They're going to choose black. I can play an Eidolon to block. Chump block. Cycle a Lorien here. Or I could just hold up Counterspell to counter whatever they do. I think we go for this. Hyena Umbra, Armadillo, and another Trailblazer. So this is just 3 right now. I'll just take it. Last Rites could have been a lot earlier. Pretty bad now. I'll just play a Snacker. They have Emerge Unscathed. It's going to give a counter, then they can Sentinel's Eyes and Homestead Courage, so that would kill us. So we'll just counter that. Swing for just short of lethal, interestingly. I'll mill ourselves for 3 here, hitting nothing relevant. Tahada's Ploy. We'll cast that, bring this back to hand, discard one of these. We get a Snacker, Escape Tunnel. We're pretty much dead. I mean, if all they have is Sentinel's Eyes, I can counter that and we can survive here. Because plus X for X is its toughness, sure. So I have to chump block this guy. Search for an island here. Get another Eidolon to block this. Don't think that's really going to cut it. We'll just Tahada's Ploy, see if we can find anything that'll save us. Probably not, though. Without any edicts in our main deck, it's going to be pretty tough. Another Blessing gives pro blue. Alright, we're dead. So we get some annuls. Last Rites would have been good. We didn't get it. Snuff Out. No Edicts in the sideboard is pretty rough for this matchup. Agony Warps are... This is another matchup where Agony Warp is really not as good. Like, I know we want to have as many multicolored spells as possible, but I don't think we can go down on cast downs this much. And we're really seeing why. I guess Tortured can give us infinite chump blockers before they gain protection. Doesn't seem great, though. Agony Warp, Counterspell. Yeah, this doesn't really seem good enough, I feel like. Here we at least have Snuff Out, although no Swamp for it. But I guess we'll keep this one. So we can just do this right away. Bouncing our island. There's a Trailblazer. We'll hold up Counterspell. Shield of Duty and Reason gives pro blue. I mean, I think we let that go, especially because they could have the pro black right away. So without a swamp, I don't have a Snuff Out for sure here. This is going to hit for 2 extra. But Snuff Out just answers this cleanly, so I think we just take it here. We draw another Border Post. Fantastic. So we'll cast that, return this, play that, and I could hold up Counterspell again. I guess we do. Because if I go for the Sifters, I can't even play a Swamp. And then if they have pro black, we're just going to die. Sentinel's Eyes, another Sentinel's Eyes, and Spirit Link. Not really the thing we wanted to counter, but we actually do need to now, because otherwise we're not going to have enough life for Snuff Out if we actually draw a Swamp. Although now we could just draw an island too and hard cast it. But we need an untapped land. We didn't get it, so Dahada's Ploy, if we find a Swamp, we can still survive. Escape Tunnel does count. Get rid of this Last Rites. Escape Tunnel, sacrifice for a Swamp. We will snuff this out and hope to survive at 2 here. They just draw Plains. Snacker's a good draw, because I can discard that right away. Get a Lorien, cycle that for an island. Play another Sifters. Discard another Snacker. Okay, this comes back. So we need them to not draw a creature for 2 or 3 turns, but alright, we got there. Snuff Out pretty good, even if it takes a little while to find our Swamp. We have a Snuff Out and a Counterspell here. I think we're definitely going to keep this one. Armadillo with Ward 1, a little unfortunate, so I can't just kill it right away. And if they use that opportunity to give it pro black, I can't do much about it. But Ethereal Armor, Sentinel's Eyes right away. So we can snuff this out and annul. So I could wait to snuff out to see if they play anything else and get more value and then annul like a Benevolent Blessing. But if they have Emergent Scathed, we get got. So I think we just kill it now with the Snuff Out. And then if they try to rebuild with a creature and an enchantment, we can annul the enchantment. And if they have no creature, that's totally fine by us. Go for Abandoned Attachments, discarding the Eidolon. No land, but they have no creature, which is great. You know, I think we should actually just not play anything here. If I tap out for like a Shipwreck Sifters and then they get their creature, I'm not going to have a way to kill it. I'd really just rather hold up a Counterspell. I think we are going to have a hard time losing here if we just don't tap out. So I think that's what we're going to do. We get our Lorien, so play that and pass. New Barola salting off in the chat, as always. Like I said, I think we're just... I guess I could have Last Rites them for 5. Maybe that would have been better. Not sure we really need it at this point. Now we can Dahada's Ploy at the end step. Draw, rediscard this. Cycle Lorien for an Aquifer. Play that, discard another Eidolon. Pass the turn. We'll play Shipwreck Sifters. Discard the Eidolon here, so this will get a counter. And we can pay 1, return an island with the Border Post. We actually get to get all of these back in hand. So there's the Border Post coming in handy. And then go to discard and just pitch a couple of these. Grow our Sifters, and they found a creature. We'll try to counter that. They definitely could have sandbagged multiple creatures to get through our Counterspell. That would have been a smart idea, but looks like they did not do that this time. And we'll play a Sifters, getting rid of an Eidolon, grow both of them, and then we can play the Vampire Hounds and just hold up a Null since we don't have an actual Counterspell. But then next turn we can cast Sneaky Snacker, get back 3 of these Eidolons, discard them to the Hounds, grow our Sifters, play an Agony Warp even on our own creature if we need to, and just do it again and hit for lethal. After about 5 more minutes of hilarious chats, we finally got the concession and we win the match. All right, on the play for the next round here, we do have 2 colors of mana, 2 lands. This one's not exceptional. We need more mana. Don't really have a way to draw to it. We do have 1 Sifters. You can play Counterspell and Agony Warp. I guess we'll keep it, but it's not my favorite. If we draw a land on turn 2, I'll be a lot happier. I think we also have to cycle the Lorien for blue-black. Just we'll have just so we'll have access to our colors, even if it is a tap land. That means we don't get our sifters right away. They're on something Tron, playing a star. I mean, Chromatic Sphere usually only sees play in, like, eggs, so that's kind of what I'm assuming here. We get the land, which is great, although we don't actually have a hand we want to discard to our last rights, because I kind of want to just, like, crack last rights, take a bunch of cards in their hand, but unfortunately, we don't have cards we want to discard. I mean, I guess Agony Warp isn't going to be great here, probably. Tortured Existence might not be that important. I kind of think we're just starting with, I guess, Vampire Hounds. Part of me wants to do the Sifters, but it can be more mana efficient to do Hounds now, and then if we get an untapped land next turn, I can go Sifters into Counterspell. Plus, until we have an Eidolon to grow the Sifters, the Hounds is actually just more damage. They do have Natural Tron, which is a bit unfortunate. Fangren Marauder. So indeed, it looks like eggs. And once again, Agony Warp being a cast down would be a lot better. They crack their star as well, probably for a crop rotation or... Oh, interesting. They did it just to draw a card. Didn't even use the green mana, which seems like a bit of a waste, but I'll take it. So now my best draws would be like Island into Eidolon to discard to the Sifters. Swamp's pretty good too, just as long as we hit a land drop. And there's the cast down. I kind of don't think we need this Tortured Existence. Last Rites could still be good if we find some Eidolons, so I think we're just going to pass. Obviously I could cast down and get in for 2. I think it's far better to hold up Counterspell for their next scary thing, and then we can always cast down the Marauder later. Not really too worried if they gain even quite a bit of life here. They play Prophetic Prism. This is tough, because if it's their only way to make colored mana, this is actually a really good target to counterspell. But they could have multiple ways to make multiple colors of mana, in which case this is just bait and kind of a waste of a counterspell. I think the potential of, like, stranding them without colored mana is too high. I don't know. They also took a little while to think about it, so they might have been thinking whether they wanted to, like, were willing to let it get countered. Well, they have a forest, but that's not all of the colors of mana they'll probably need. If they are like eggs, they'll probably have some need for black, white, and or blue, some combination of those. And a Generous Ent, not the worst thing ever. It's fine. They're going to swing here. No fear of us discarding 2 creatures to this guy, which obviously we don't have. Snacker is 1 to discard, so we could. I mean, now we have the ability to, like, discard Snacker to make this a 4/4, Agony Warp one of these guys. I could Last Rites, but then we have to deal with the creatures on board, so I think for now we're just going to pass with our removal up, and depending on how they attack, we might be able to eat 1 or 2 of their creatures. They're just going to swing with both, so I'll block the Hounds onto the Marauder. I have to do both Agony Warps on the Marauder here, if I want to kill it and prevent the Hounds from being killed. And we'll discard the Snacker. Do I want to just take 5? I could cast this down, but then I'm showing I don't have any mana to do anything else. I think we cast it down. I don't know. Taking 5 unnecessarily just feels a little weird and bad, but maybe bluffing a counterspell is better. Well, they just play another one, so definitely I think casting down felt good. A Snacker. So I could Last Rites for 1 here with the Snacker. That's not great. Or I could hold Snacker to discard to the Hounds, although I can't actually block and kill this Generous Ent, so I almost want to just play the Snacker as a chump blocker. Yeah, which gives us more time to find a way to draw some cards. Like a Dahada's Ploy off the top would be great here. We're okay as long as they don't have much going on, I suppose. Ancient Stirrings finds a Prism. There's the Prism and a star. So the counterspell on the Prism before definitely doesn't feel like it did too much. I think we want to play the Escape Tunnel, because if I draw a Lorien Revealed, I'm really going to want to use that. So we'll swing here and pass. Play a Power Plant. They're going to swing for 5. And looks like they might just have like a Rolling Thunder or a Hydra or something, but they made a red mana, so kind of expecting a Fireball here. Yeah, Carevex Torch. We are dead. So I'm not sure it's Eggstron. It could just be a weird Monstertron. Snuff Outs definitely seem good. Last Rites obviously could have been better. Annul's good. Agony Warp, I'm not loving. Tortured Existence, I don't think we need. Alright, we have no lands. This one's okay. We can get rid of a swamp. Start with an Aquifer. Here we have a hand where casting the Border Post is better than having it out early. We'll definitely want to do that. Here we'll just pass. And then attachments in Eidolon. They of course have turn 3 Tron again. This one's I guess assisted, but still pretty good. Abandon attachments. We'll play an island and pass. I could play the Border Post now. That brings back the Eidolon, but we're gonna play an attachments which already brings it back, so there's no reason to do that. Here they have a Prophetic Prism. We're going to go for an Attachments in Response because we brought in 2 annuls, and this is obviously something we'd be happy to annul if we draw one. Bring back the Eidolon and discard it again. No annul, so that's going to resolve. Barbed Sextant. Sack it, add 1 mana of any color, draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. That is interesting. Usually these decks don't play... They play Chromatic Star, but then Chromatic Sphere is only occasionally used, but this is like the next worst of these cards, so that's an interesting choice. There's this Tower, and another one. I mean, they have a big storm count if they want to, like, weather the storm. Chromatic Star. Wizard's Rockets. This is another one of this card. So they have, like, a million of these. Interesting. Yep, they draw some cards. We have another Eidolon. Ugh, now we're getting the half with all the Eidolons, but we're not getting anything else. So this is pretty unfortunate. I'm going to play... I was going to say I played my Swamp first so that I could hold up a counter spell, but I actually have to pay blue mana for this, so that was not what I should have done. We'll discard this and just pass, I guess. All we have are Eidolons and removal, which will be good eventually, but right now not doing too much, and isn't going to help us against a Kervex Torch. Maelstrom Colossus. So they are just some sort of Monstertron, just a bit different. And there's a Relic of Progenitus, which is... not a great thing for us to see. They're going to play Abundant Harvest. I don't understand why they're playing Maelstrom Colossus with, like, what looks to be 31 drops in their deck. It's crazy. They found an Urza's Tower, play a Chromatic Sphere. We're going to cast down the Colossus. And there's a Dahada's Ploy. Of course, with the Relic around, it's not great, but... I mean, what am I going to do? Cast one of these Eidolons? I could. Doesn't seem very good. If I ploy here, I'm not sure I'm getting much out of it anyway. So I can ploy at the end step. I think I'm just casting one of these. It could be a chump blocker later or something, but I really don't think doing a Dahada's Ploy here gives us much value. I might want to save it until I can cast it and jumpstart it in the same turn so they can't relic it away before I get the extra value. They have another relic. Gonna take an Abandoned Attachments from our grave. And looks like they have a Kervex Torch for 11. Yup. So we'll go to 9. I assume they're going to have another one to kill us with next turn. They did tap out, though, so I can do Dahada's Ploy. If we find a counterspell and they have another torch, though, it's not going to be able to counter it. I mean, what are you going to do? I'll cast this, bring back the Eidolon, draw, and discard it again. Play a Swamp, swing for 2. I guess... I don't think there's a way I gain enough life to survive here if they have another torch, but I might as well just... do the second ploy now. Discard an Aquifer and a Snacker. Sack a Star, Wizard's Rockets, and it looks like they just need another land. Now they can deal 14 with a second torch. Well, what are you going to do? They got us. Alright, this one looks decent. We can get a Snacker on turn 2. You have Sifters and Eidolon. Opponent mulligans to 5. And they start with the Colony Garden, play an island and pass. Island Wellspring, interesting combination. Doesn't want to send a message. We'll get an Aquifer here. Do I just want to get a Snacker down? Probably. It's more resilient if they are some sort of Gardens deck, although with the island that looks a little bit less likely. I guess it's just a better one to get through a counterspell. Perilous Research, okay. Their version of Fanatical Offering. Another garden here. Now messages being sent. Conflicting messages here. Swing for 2. Gonna play Shipwreck Sifters. Discard Eidolon. Play an Aquifer and pass. Counterspell's good. We can hold that from next turn on. They have another Wellspring. And Devoted Druid. Gotcha. So this is gonna be new Devoted Druid Sewer Valence Cam combo. Which means we probably want to hold back a creature to block in case they get the infinite combo and can make this infinitely big. Oh, I said Sewer Valence. It actually might be, it's the pizza one that gives +2/+2. It's a different combo. I guess maybe I just killed the Devoted Druid now, so I don't have to worry about that. That actually seems reasonable. So we'll swing for 4. Then we'll just kill this off, get back our Eidolon, and pass the turn. And we won the entire match, I suppose. Alright, we are 2-2. Going into the last round. Alright, we're against Cosmic Charles, who's always up to something interesting. Can't keep this hand, unfortunately. Well, this one's not great either, but we'll give it a try. Escape Tunnel finds blue. Guess we get rid of the Modern Age here. Mistvault Bridge. Start with an Escape Tunnel. Looks like they're on something Esper. I'm not confident it's just going to be traditional Esper Affinity. Might be doing something wacky with it. And, well, we can't hold up Counterspell this turn anyway, so I think we just go for an Attachments, discarding a Snacker here. we get some lands. They have an island. 3 mana Thoughtcast. Wow. Actual divination. They did say they pressed keep without looking at their hand. So, you know, happens to the best of us. Swing here. I'm just going to play an island so I have a counterspell up. This does mean we didn't go for an attachments with the snacker right there, but they're clearly on something affinity-ish. Drum is fine, and holding up a counterspell for some key piece seems important. Although I'm not going to counter the Ornithopter even if that gives them a mana. Frogmite I'm not going to counter either. I would counter an Utrom Monitor or a Mirror Enforcer. Yep, there's the Monitor. Of course, they could have one more. They could have... Okay, they do have an Enforcer. I think with our snackers, the Flyer's probably just worse for us. Here we can play Sifters, discard the snacker. Ooh, we get the Eidolon. I guess we discard that, because it'll come back. And I could just attachments now, get our snacker and our Eidolon, but I could wait until I chump block or like trade with the Frogmite. I think we'd probably just wait a turn. They have a Razortide Bridge, another Mirror Enforcer, and Meeting of Minds. Interesting. Definitely looks like they're on just kind of an Azorius affinity that drops a whole bunch of creatures immediately. So with the Enforcer, we'll just block. Since we're going to get them back, bring back the Eidolon, discard Snacker, get an Agony Warp. We'll pass the turn. Salt Road Pack Beast. Yeah, so they're just like go wide creatures and affinity. Looking pretty scary, to be honest. They're playing Unexpected Assistance. Draw 3, discard a card. Convoke. Okay. Discard a Seat at the Synod. Attack with the Mirror Enforcers. So I wish that I could shrink the power here and like kill off the Pack Beast, but I can't do that and kill the Enforcer. So I think we probably just... Well, they could have a Metallic Rebuke. I maybe should have done this pre-blocks, but here's hoping this doesn't get countered. It didn't, so we get to eat the Enforcer. Counterspell's a good draw, so I'm going to play the Eidolon. Honestly, not terrible as just a blocker here. Then can counterspell. Probably will counterspell a draw 2 if they have it. Play a tap land. Their attacks are not exceptional, so they don't attack at all. That's great for us. Ooh, Dahada's Ploy is really good too. Play a land and pass. Salt Road Pack Beast, we're going to counter that. Giant creature that draws a card is not what we want to see. And do I want to sacrifice the Eidolon to get it back with the Dahada's Ploy? Yes, I think we do. So we'll drain him for 1, cast Dahada's Ploy, get it back, and discard it because we can get it back with the Border Posts. Cast down is good. Agony Warp is actually good in this matchup. So let's cast a Border Post, bringing this back, play an island, and I think we'll just play this again. The blocker's not bad. At some point we can start attacking with the snackers. Maybe it was this point because they actually only have 3 attackers. We have 2 removal spells and 2 blockers. Yeah, maybe I should have. I think we'll just drain them and cast down a Mirror Enforcer, and then cast this Border Post, Dahada's Ploy, discarding the Eidolon. Gets a counter here. Discard it again, get a counter here. We can start attacking. If they go for a block, I have Agony Warp. They just jump with the Ornithopter. So let's Modern Age, discard an island, play an Escape Tunnel. Ornithopter off the top. Swing with these guys. They could have a Ninja. That wouldn't be great for us. We're going to shrink a Frogmite, kill the Pack Beast, but at least we're not letting him pick up a Pack Beast. It would just be a Frogmite here. Oh, they could be playing Leonardo. Looks like they are. Okay. Hits for 4. Replay the Frogmite, so maybe not great letting them get that in, but they go for a concession there. They were definitely a little behind, so I understand. Drowning Star looks good. They do have some bigger toughness guys, but Ornithopters, Frogmites, I feel like there's probably going to be some more. Annul's obviously good here. Not sure about Tortured Existence or Last Rites. Agony Warp is good here, as we've seen. I don't think we need the Snuff Outs, though. Although I guess Cast Down can't hit Leonardo, but Agony Warp can. Modern Age isn't a bad card by any means. It just feels like it's more of a flex slot than a lot of the other cards, so that's why I keep cutting it. Alright, we'll keep. We have the Border Post into Sifters, We have Double Hounds, which isn't great, but we can get rid of one if we really want to. They do have Springleaf Drum, but no Ornithopter. Here's Border Post. Something to keep in mind is this is a counterable land, basically, so something I should probably be aware of. There's Ornithopter, Utrom Monitor. Okay, nothing else. They could have Metallic Rebuke. I think we're just playing Sifters. I could just Agony Warp their Monitor. That slows them down. I would do it in their upkeep. Yeah, I mean, they didn't play a Mirror Enforcer, which means they don't have it or they want to hold up Rebuke. Sifters isn't really doing us that much good, so I think we are just gonna try to kill the Monitor in their upkeep. We're gonna go for the Agony Warp in their upkeep. And if they have the counter spell or like a Reckoner's Bargain, that's totally fine. Looks like they do. Or, oh, actually they have a Meeting of Minds. So I let them get a Meeting of Minds off, I suppose, by doing it this way. That might have been worse, but if they had the Rebuke, it would have been awkward to do it the other way. I don't know. Good to keep in mind with their tapping spells. I guess we probably just play a Vampire Hounds here, and then next turn I can play double Sifters. And if we do draw like an Eidolon, we can actually attack for a bunch and grow the Sifters. There's a Hard Evidence, interesting. Craven Inspector. Another Meeting of Minds, so Crab's good for that. Yep. Mere Enforcer, yeah, they got 7 artifacts. Nice. I mean, this deck is sweet. For sure. Well, let's play some Sifters and hope we draw Snackers, Eidolons, something relevant. Another Sifters. Well, no reason to discard that right now. I can discard it to the second one of these if I want to grow them both, or I could save it for the Hounds. We'll see what we get here. Drown in Sorrow. Not looking great right now. I think we'll just get rid of the Border Post. Pass. I mean, I do have the ability to grow my guys out of range of the Drown in Sorrow, so if they end up playing bunch of Frogmites or something, it will be decent, but obviously right now it doesn't look like it kills all that much. They're going to swing with the Enforcer and the Ornithopter. So that means Leonardo's probably coming down, or another ninja. I could go all in to kill the Enforcer. Don't really love discarding second Hounds. They could have a Cast Down or something, because they are playing black, though we haven't seen any black spells. I think we'll just take it. If it's Leonardo, we're taking 7 here. Oh, we also just don't have double black for the Drown in Sorrow because we got rid of the Border Post. That's good to keep in mind. We play Ornithopter, Salt Road Pack Beast. They have a lot of 3 toughness things. Maybe the Drowns weren't very good. Well, we kind of knew that, but didn't fully think it through. Abandon Attachments. Well, I think we're going to do that, discarding the Drown, because it's just not doing us any good right now. Escape Tunnel. We don't have the ability to one-shot them right now. I think we'll play another Sifters. This means we can't grow these ones unless we get an Eidolon, so maybe that was rough. Luckily enough, we do. Although maybe I should have saved that to discard to the Hounds, but I kind of wanted to keep both of my lands and my other Hounds. Play an Aquifer, we'll pass the turn. Wish this Vampire Hounds was a Spirit Hound, actually. They have another Meeting of Minds, and a Thoughtcast, drawing a million. Another Pack Beast, back up to 6 cards and filling their board. Third Pack Beast, Mere Enforcer, Mere Enforcer. Things are not going so well anymore. If we can just find another, like if we get Abandoned Attachments, so I can get back the Eidolon, discard it again, various things like that, we can be okay. They're attacking with a 9/3 Leonardo, so I think I have to block here and discard the Vampire Hounds. And I triple block this Mere Enforcer, I suppose. I'll lose one of these. And then I guess if they have another Leonardo, well, I'll have wasted a discard, but they won't actually kill this one, so that would probably be fine. Although I would have preferred them to return the Mere Enforcer, not the Salt Road, so maybe I should have blocked this one. Yeah, looks like we're going to get got. Oh, they have just a Cast Down, maybe? Thraben Charm. Sure. Can't do anything about that. It takes 20 damage or something. They have another Unexpected Assistance. Ornithopter. I don't think there's anything we can draw to get out of this. Agony Warp is not going to do it. Their creatures are important enough. Maybe we Snuff Out isn't bad. We don't actually love the Drowns. So many things are such high toughness for so little mana. That's crazy. Yeah, let's try that instead. Oof, this hand is not good. We got to get rid of that. Unfortunately, yeah, we're having that other half of the deck problem. I mean, we have counter magic here, Snuff Out. This is probably a keep on 6, even though it doesn't do much. But it just interacts with them enough. Alright, we'll keep this, get rid of one of these guys. Play an Eidolon. Not play an Eidolon, play an Island. Oh my god, now I'm forgetting what I'm playing here. Cyclorian. We're going to grab a Swamp for sure so we can have Snuff Out. Attachments is a good draw. We have a null for probably whatever their first spell is, to be honest. They don't currently have white mana. And it does accelerate them. I think we will counter that. And I want to hit my land drop, but I think we want to hold up Counterspell a little bit more. Okay, if they got nothing, then we still get to play attachments here, discarding the Eidolon. Get a Mistvein Border Post. Well, hoping they don't counter it, but I still get to replay my island if they do. Bring this back to hand, and we'll hold up Counterspell again. Try to play a little slower and not just run out our things and have them overwhelm us. They don't have white mana still. That might be a reason to counter Springleaf Drum. Of course, I could just counter their first creature. I think we'll let it go at this point. They're gonna get white mana at some point, and if we could just counter their creature, maybe I should just cast this down, but this prevents them from playing another Enforcer, it prevents them from playing anything white. They do go for a Thoughtcast, though. Pass the turn. Island is good. Now we go for a Sifters. Border Post. Alright. Part of me wants to hold the Eidolon because I can get an extra counter on this Sifters, but I kind of want everything in our hand because the Border Post can get the Eidolon back. In fact, I could just do that now. More counters on the Sifters later. No, we probably want to either hold up Cast Down or just play a Sifters here. We have a Snuff Out, so I think we'll just go for this. Well, Counterspell's too good to get rid of, so I guess we are going to get rid of the Border Post. So it would have worked out better if I had discarded it in the opposite order, but I didn't know what I was going to draw, and if I drew a land or something, I was happy to get rid of that. There's an Utrom Monitor, Mirror Enforcer. I'm just going to snuff out the Monitor now, so if they have another Enforcer, they'll still have to pay 1 additional mana for it. Plus, this not resolving means they can't get Meeting of Minds, because they only have 3 mana. They are going to float a blue. Okay, so they are going to Meeting of Minds. I guess I forgot because of the Springleaf Drum, they could just float the blue, but we forced them to use it that way. Still not a total loss. They are keeping a lot of cards in hand, despite our efforts here, but we're going to cast down their creature and hold up a counterspell, swing for 3 here. They have a Frogmite. I think that's too low impact. We got to just let it go, even though it does give them a creature. It gives them the Springleaf Drum, as does Ornithopter, but they're going to have some way to do it anyway. I think now we're countering card draw mostly. Meeting of Minds. I think we just counter that, to be honest. Try to stall them a little bit. This is why we played our land drop before. Lorien is a great draw, and these are pretty decent here. Attachments lets us get back our Eidolon. Snacker comes back. Agony Warp's not bad. Although we are tapped out this turn. They got a Pack Beast, but they got to pay 4 mana for it, so that's not too bad. So we get the Frogbite. Cast attachments, see if we get any more removal or anything. Discarding the Snacker. We get a Hounds. Ooh, I kind of wanted to Agony Warp here, but I think Hounds is too good with the Eidolons we have going on. I could swing with this Sifters, and if they block, I could double discard, but I think being able to discard both of these to pump our team next turn and then Agony Warp and bring them back, do it again, we might be able to just kill them next turn, depending on their blocks. They do have another Pack Beast, and I did partially want to kill their Pack Beast just to make their next one more expensive. Hard evidence, but I think it's better for us to hold these for an attack here. Ooh, and we have another Sifters to be growing alongside everything else. That's great. A third one of these guys. I mean, we are just discarding one of these, but we get to attack with all of these. I could swing with the Snacker, but I don't want to risk losing on the Crackback if they do have like a Leonardo. They block here, so we get to discard both of these Eidolons for free counters on all of our board. Then I don't even have to shrink this Pack Beast's power, although we might as well because we're going to cast it anyway. Shrink this power and kill this other Pack Beast. Bring all of these back to hand. They could go for like a Meeting of Minds in response, or even the Unexpected Assistance because they have this Crab, which looks like they are going to do that. Draw 3, discard 1, which is good for them, but we are getting some really good value killing 3 other creatures here. I could discard all 3 of these, but all we're getting is 3 more damage on them, so I don't think there's a reason to. So that was a really good turn for us. Finally, our deck is working as intended. They have an Ornithopter, Ancient Den, Thraben Charm, a Sifters. It's a 5/6. They only have 3 creatures, so it's taking 6 damage. So I'm gonna discard one of these and hope to keep it alive. They could have another Thraben Charm, and I wouldn't be able to stop that. But if I had to discard like all 3 of our cards, I might not do it. But since it's only one, it's not bad. They say, oh yeah, they might have just forgotten that I could pump it still. All right, and they go ahead and concede. So we end up with a 3-2. Definitely a little rocky throughout, but 3-2 is not a bad record at all. Of course, I really like Dimir Spirits as a deck. It's a very unique engine that we're able to build. Discarding, as we saw, especially in that last game, the Eidolons to a Vampire Hounds to grow our Sifters and itself. Cast any of our random instant speed multicolored cards and then bring them back. I definitely feel like the border posts have a very low cost of inclusion. The only things we have to watch out for is that our opponent could counterspell it, and that could be relevant. And if we're playing against an opponent who naturally has artifact removal, like Masked Vandals and Elves or Spy, then we could be at a little bit risk of being Stone Rained in those matchups. But for the most part, it seems like an obvious include that just lets us use our lands to get back our Eidolons, so I really like this include for sure. I do think, as we said many times throughout, Cast Down is just too good in this kind of a deck, even if it is monocolored, I think we should be playing 4 of them. I don't mind 1 or 2 Agony Warps alongside that, but I think we just need more cast downs. Tortured Existence, we really didn't get to see it shine, but I could see it being powerful in the right matchup. Maybe it's more of a sideboard card since we're taking it out so often that we occasionally bring in for Gardens matchups and things like that. But to be honest, those matchups usually have a lot of graveyard hate too, so I'm not really sure Tortured Existence would be the way to go. Modern Age seems totally fine, but of course it's hard finding slots, so 2 of them here is not bad at all. I wouldn't mind finding more slots for them, but also I could also see just cutting them for other cards that are needed. So I definitely still think the deck is a work in progress, but I would say overall this was a success because the border posts feel really, really good. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my monthly supporters, including my $10 and up supporters, Howard Granger, JDNPX, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, Sty, Benedict, and DJ Vinyl. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you all next time.